There is a lot of mystery around stargates, and most of what people believe is either symbolic, watered down, or disconnected from how these structures actually function in the planetary and cosmic architecture. Stargates are not myth, metaphor, or fantasy. They are living energetic infrastructures woven into the Earth's body, and they respond to the same laws of coherence, resonance, and harmonic alignment that govern all higher dimensional systems. As the planetary field shifts, more people are beginning to feel these gates activating again. The sensations, the dreams, the pull towards specific locations, the sudden waves of heat or pressure, none of that is random. Something ancient is waking, something long dormant is coming back online, and the collective is finally entering a cycle where the truth of these structures can be understood, not through superstition, but through the mechanics of consciousness. In today's teaching, we're going into how stargates actually work, why some of them were sealed for so long, and what it means for the collective now that so many are beginning to reopen. Stargates have existed on this planet long before any civilization remembered how to speak their names. Long before written language, long before the rise and fall of ancient cultures, long before humans knew what a dimension was, the planetary body was already breathing through these gates. They have always been here, but their accessibility has never been consistent. Their function has always been tied to the health of the planetary grid and the coherence of the consciousness living on it. A stargate is not an object, a portal, or a doorway carved out of stone. A stargate is a living frequency bridge. It is a meeting point between harmonic universes' layers of reality that vibrate at different speeds. When the layers align, even briefly, a passage opens. When they fall out of alignment, the passage closes. These gates are not passive. They are intelligent. They sense distortion, coherence, intention, and the overall stability of the field interacting with them. Throughout Earth's long history, these stargates have opened and closed in cycles that often had nothing to do with human desire. There were times when the gates functioned freely, allowing consciousness to move between realms with ease. And there were times, many of them, when the gates folded inward and sealed. The sealing of a stargate is not a punishment or a limitation. It is a protective measure. When the planetary grid becomes unstable, when distortions increase, when war, trauma, or fragmentation ripple through the collective field, the Stargate network retracts its frequency into the higher layers. The physical location remains, but the vibrational bridge becomes inaccessible. This protective sealing can last for decades, centuries, or entire cycles. The outer gate that people can visit, walk upon, or meditate near is only the visible tip of a much deeper system. The inner gate, the living harmonic bridge, is what matters. And when the Earth is overloaded with distortion, the bridge simply goes quiet. It stops broadcasting. It reduces its output to a faint, dormant glow. Those with heightened sensitivity can feel the echo of it, like a memory in the land. But no one can pass through it. There were eras where the planetary field was so fractured that only a handful of beings could access the upper harmonics at all. These individuals carried templates that were more crystalline, more intact, and more resistant to distortion. Their internal architecture allowed them to interface with the Stargate frequencies without damaging the body or destabilizing the consciousness. For everyone else, the translation field would have been too intense. The voltage would have overwhelmed the nervous system. The higher frequencies would have shattered the energetic template. And so, the gates remain sealed for the safety of both the planet and the collective. A stargate opens only when two conditions are met. The planetary field rises into coherence, and the consciousness interacting with it rises into resonance. Both must occur at the same time. If the Earth is ready, but the person is fragmented, the gate remains closed. If the person is ready, but the grid is unstable, the gate remains closed. These structures do not respond to curiosity, belief, or desire. They respond to alignment. When a stargate begins to open, the process is subtle. The air shifts long before anything visible changes. The land emits a deeper hum, as if something ancient is stirring beneath the surface. People near the site may feel a pressure in the skull, a ringing in the ears, or a warmth spreading through the body. These are not symptoms of illness. They are signs that the internal gating system is responding to an external frequency. The crown, the pineal, the heart, the solar plexus, and the tailbone all carry micro stargates that translate higher dimensional frequency into human perception. These inner gates must open before the external one becomes accessible. This is why stargate openings can feel physical. Dizziness, nausea, heat, or a sense of being in two places at once. The body must calibrate. It must learn to hold a frequency it hasn't held in thousands of years. And only when the body stabilizes can the consciousness move into the harmonic band the stargate leads to. In the past, many of these gates were closed because the planetary structures were damaged. Wars between ancient civilizations left deep tears in the grid. Massive trauma events imprinted the land. Fractured timelines created interference patterns. Dimensional invasions and distortions forced the gates into lockdown. The Earth was not able to hold the current required to maintain an open bridge. If the gates had remained active during these eras, the distortions could have spread into higher realms. The stargates sealed themselves to prevent contamination of the upper harmonics. The sealing of a stargate is similar to the body closing off a damaged blood vessel. It is not the end of function, it is a pause until repair is possible. Once the grid begins to heal, the stargate slowly reignites, like a cosmic organ returning to life. In the present cycle, the planetary grid is undergoing a massive restoration. Crystalline filaments that were once dim have reawakened. Plasma currents are flowing through the Earth in ways they haven't since the original seeding of the human race. Solar activity is reformatting the magnetosphere. The higher harmonics of the planet are merging with the lower ones. And because of this, many stargates that were sealed for thousands of years are beginning to open again. People feel this intuitively. Some feel pulled to certain locations without knowing why. Some experience dreams of ancient landscapes or temples hidden beneath the ground. Some wake up with memories that do not fit into this lifetime. Some feel their bodies reacting to energies they cannot see. This is not imagination. It is the internal Stargate system responding to the reactivation of the external network. As the gates reopen, they do so very precisely. They don't blast open all at once. They open the way a flower opens, layer by layer, petal by petal, frequency by frequency. Each gate reactivates according to its role in the planetary architecture. Some open to support healing, some open to restore memory, some open to reunite timelines, some open to assist with ascension, and some open only for short windows, allowing a very specific passage before closing again for stabilization. A stargate that reopens after centuries of dormancy is not fragile. It is intentional. It has waited for the exact moment where the planet and the collective field could sustain the light it carries. It has waited for the voltage to rise. It has waited for coherence. It has waited for the world to become ready to interface with higher reality without collapsing under the weight of its own evolution. This is why the current ascension cycle is so significant. The stargates are not reopening randomly. They are reopening because Earth has reached a level of stability and coherence that has not existed in many lifetimes. The planetary body is waking up. The crystalline networks are glowing again. The plasma fields are circulating, and the collective consciousness is rising enough to meet them. The stargates reopen when the world becomes capable of holding what flows through them. And now, for the first time in a very long time, that moment has arrived. The return of the Stargate system is not a spectacle. It is not a dramatic event meant to shock or overwhelm. It is a quiet, precise restoration of a planetary architecture that has been dormant for thousands of years. These structures are opening because the Earth is stabilizing, because the collective is rising, and because consciousness as a whole is reaching a level of coherence that can finally interact with these frequencies safely. Every person who feels the shift is participating in it, whether consciously or not. Every moment of clarity, grounding, integrity, and embodiment strengthens the planetary field, and each stabilization in the human heart helps to reopen what once remained sealed. The gates are not returning to pull humanity out of this world. They are returning to reconnect this world to the larger harmonic it always belonged to. As this cycle continues, more stargates will activate, more memory will return, and more people will begin to understand the true architecture of this ascension. Not through belief, through direct experience, through resonance, and through the body remembering what it was designed to interface with long before this lifetime. The stargates are opening again, and the collective is finally ready to meet them. Thank you for listening, and thank you for being here. This is Mysticallylily, and I'll see you in the next transmission.